Hi class, in lesson 3.8 you will be learning about parts of a part and multiplying with fractions. Learning targets for today, you will create models to represent parts of parts and multiply fractions. Turn to page 188, problem 1, multiplying fractions. The 6th grade students are making extra large rectangular pizzas to sell at home basketball games. One extra large pizza costs $24, but customers can buy part of extra large pizzas. Number 1, for letter A, we are going to do together, and then for letters B through F, you will do those with your group members. Here is the model that we are using to determine that Christine bought 1/4 of 1/2 of a pizza. You can first break the model up into 1/2. The rectangle is cut in half, and then you are breaking that half up into equal size fourths as demonstrated here. You shade in one of those fourths, and that is going to help you determine that Christine bought 1/8 of the pizza. We can determine that she purchased 1/8 of the pizza because the other half of the rectangle would also be broken up into equal size fourths. So there's a nice visual with this model as far as Christine buying 1/8 of the pizza. Finally, the last thing we have to determine is how much Christine paid. If she bought 1/8 of the pizza, we are trying to determine 1/8 of $24. So we can see then that she paid $3 for her pizza. So these are the steps that you are going to follow. I would like you to complete letters B through F and finish number 1 with your group members. For letter B, here is what your sketch can look like for 3/4 of 1/2. Antoine bought 3/8 of a pizza and he paid $9. For letter C, here is what your sketch can look like for 2/3 of 1/4. Paul bought 1/6 of the pizza and he paid $4. This is what your sketch can look like for letter D, 1/3 of 1/2. Katie bought 1/6 of a pizza and she paid $4. For letter E, 2/3 of 3/4, here is what your sketch can look like. Sifi bought 1/2 of a pizza and paid $12. And for letter F, 1/2 of 2/3, this is what your sketch can look like. Gary bought 1/3 of a pizza and paid $8. Turn to the top of page 190. The expression 1/2 of 2/3 means to multiply 1/2 and 2/3. Anytime you see two numbers or fractions with the word of between them, remember that you must multiply the numbers or fractions together to get the product. When you multiply a fraction by a fraction, you are calculating a part of a part. You can represent the product of two fractions using an area model. Let's take a look at the example and consider an area model for 1/4 times 1/2 and what it represents. To represent 1/2 of the square, I'm going to divide the square along the horizontal line into two equal parts, and then I'm going to shade 1/2. You can see that represented in red. Then to represent 1/4 of the square, I'm going to divide the square into 4 equal parts along the vertical line and then shade in 1/4, and that's represented in black. The area of the overlapping region is the product of the fractions. So using this area model, 1/4 times 1/8 is equal, 1/4 times 1/2 is equal to 1/8. Turn to page 191, answer number 2, letters A through C with your group members. Number 2, letter A, here is what your area model should look like. 3/4 times 1/2 is equal to 3/8. For letter B, this is what your area model should look like. 2/3 times 3/4 is equal to 6/12. You can simplify that to 1/2. And this is what your area model should look like for letter C. 1/2 times 2/3 is equal to 2/6, simplified 1/3. Turn to page 192, answer number 3 with your group members. To To calculate the product of two fractions, you can multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. When you are done doing that, you must simplify the fraction if possible. Turn to page 194, answer number 6, letters A through D with your group members. For number 6, letter A, the estimated product is 2, 3 and 11/12 is close to 4, and half of 4 is 2. Letter B, the estimated product is 6, 4 and 1/6 is close to 4, and 1 and a half of 4 is 6. For letter C, the estimated product is 10, 2 and 9/10 is close to 3, and 3 times 3 and a half is close to 10. And finally, for letter D, the estimated product is 1 and 1/4, 5/9 is close to a half, and 2 and a half times 1/2 is about 1 and 1/4. Turn to page 195, problem 2, Hawaiian trail mix for everyone. Remember Miss Hadley's Hawaiian trail mix extravaganza? It was quite a success, and some teachers are making more batches. Calculate how many cups are needed to make multiple batches. Show your work for each. Answer number 1, letters A through C with your group members. Number 1, letter A, 2 and 1/3 times 3. The teachers should use 7 cups of almonds. Letter B, 4 and 5/8 times 3. The teachers will need 13 and 7/8 cups of popped popcorn. And for letter C, 4 and a half times 3. The teachers will need 13 and a half cups of raisins. Turn to page 197, answer letter B with your group members. Leslie rewrote both mixed numbers and improper fractions, and then she multiplied. She then turned her improper fraction into a mixed number and made sure that the fractional part was in simplest form. Turn to page 198, using what you now know about the different methods of multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Answer number 3, letters A through H with your group members. Number 3, letter A, 8 and a half, B, 9, C, 11 and 1/3, D, 4 and 1/5. E, 1 and 1/4, F, 3/4, G, 7 and a half, H, 7 and 7/8. This will conclude the lesson on parts of a part and multiplying fractions and mixed numbers for lesson 3.8. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.